Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of our Restoration CRX video series. My name is Alan, this is Ray, that's Denny. Say hi guys.
Hi. What's up guys?
Alright, so we've been away for a year, but that being said, we did make a lot of progress with the car. We're gonna take a drive today and we're gonna go over everything that we've done. So let's get to it. So Ray, we did a lot of work, didn't we, in the last year?
Yes, we did.
We've been really busy with life, right? But that being said, we still done a lot of work to the car. So where do you want to start? What do you think? Should we just start with the engine and our way out?
Let's start with the engine.
Cool. So we have a bunch of notes that we wrote. Why don't you go ahead and tell the viewers what we've done so far in terms of the engine bay and, you know.
So we started off with our regular maintenance, did the air filter, changed the oil. Then we came to thinking, all right, it's time now we need to do a timing belt since we're looking at this car is already.
So we did that. What else did we do?
So we did the oil pan, fixed all the leaks on there.
When we first bought the car was leaking pretty badly. So no more leaks, right?
No more leaks.
Okay.
Then we decided the cooling, radiator, really important for all our cars.
Yeah, I remember that when we first bought the car, Denny went up a hill and the temperature gauge was going pretty high, so no more temperature issues anymore. It's always staying below the halfway mark, so that's good, right?
Yeah.
Cool. What else?
And one other point, we had noticed a lot of vibration, which lead us to think it was the motor mounts, which we were correct. We had 2 broken motor mounts, so we decided best to replace all of it.
We didn't do anything to the engine, so in terms of like upgrades, so the entire thing is stock, right? Everything is OEM. Do you want to leave it that way, or what's the goal moving forward?
I think for what this car, the weight, I think it's perfect. This design that they had back in the 90s is gas-wise perfect. Commuting, daily driver, weekend driver, it's the perfect car for everybody.
All right, so we covered the engine. Let's talk about the transmission. So, the gears are fine. Everything shifts very smoothly, but we did have issues with the clutch, right? And we quickly discovered that it needed the clutches needed to be replaced, right?
Yes.
So talk to me a little about that.
Well, so we figured once we started driving, it felt fine.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel much of a grab point on the clutch. It felt pretty soft. And with the miles, we don't know if it was changed or not. Yeah. So we figured, you know what? Let's change that too, since we want that feel of the car. We should get that full 1.6 liter. All the torque. Yeah. When we shift, and you can feel the car just grab.
Tell me, what kind of clutch did we get?
So we got the XD.
Why didn't we go OEM?
Well, first of all, it's hard to find. Yeah. And I don't think they make it anymore. And we wanted an OEM replacement where it's not too hard on the feet when you're shifting and just very smooth. Yeah. So we also replaced the flywheel too along with the clutch, right? Yes. Okay. So options we had were we could resurface the flywheel, but with about 200,000 miles on this car, we figured I think it's time for a flywheel. Yeah. So we got the XD flywheel replacement. Yeah. And I think the biggest thing was we fixed that stupid squeak that we had in the first video. Yes. Right? So that was important. This thing feels really, really good right now. There's no squeak, as you can see. There's it grabs really, really nicely. I mean, it feels like a new car, to be honest. Yeah. 3 of us had a real long discussion about the direction we want to go to suspension, right? Yes. So we replaced the shocks just because the shocks are a wear item, right? So you have to replace that no matter what. So we decided to go with the Kona Yellows, which is probably one of the most common upgrades for any CRX owner. Yes. Right? A very reputable brand. Very, very reputable brand. But then, so we started with the OEM springs on the Kona shocks, and I think that the ride was awesome. It was perfect. It was smooth, but none of us liked the wheel gap, right? Yeah. Yeah. So why don't you go ahead and tell the viewers? Wheel gap was slightly big. 4 fingers.
SUV big?
Yes, like my RDX.
Yeah.
But it didn't have that look we were looking for, which was we wanted to make it look modern, like nowadays car, where it's slightly lower, not too low, where you can drive through these bumpy roads without having to worry about hitting a little ditch or dip. So we figured 1 inch drop, that's perfect. We don't need anything more than 1 inch.
We didn't want to go with any crazy adjustable coilovers or anything like that, right? So we went with the Eibach Pro Kit, which is, I know, you know, Eibach is another reputable brand, and you know, as I'm driving right now with the new springs on, it's pretty compliant. It's not bone jarring or anything like that. The ride feels, I mean, I can't tell the difference between this and OEM on a regular road. So I think that one of the best characteristics about a car like this is the steering feel. You know, there's no power steering. It's very direct. But in terms of the feel, we also replaced the tie rods, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so talk to the viewers about that.
Well, the tie rods were pretty much broken.
The boots were busted.
The inner boots were all cracked. So we decided to change the boots out. And while we were changing the boots out, we noticed that the outer tie rods were loose. Yeah. Which only leads to one point, is they're broken. Yeah. And that affects the steering also. So we went ahead and changed those out too. Yeah. Yeah, so I think that once those tie rods were installed in the car, I mean, it was pretty night and day in terms of the feel. You know, everything felt a lot more tighter. Felt a little bit more heavier, which I like. You know, and I think that play that you have when the car's going straight, you can wheel. That definitely was reduced as well. You feel the same thing? Yes.
Yeah. So what do we do with brakes?
So brakes, we thought about OEM. Honda sells the pads, but we figured let's give it a little bit more better braking power with a little bit more advance, which we went with
the centric. Yeah, centric rotors and the matching centric pads as well. Yeah. So I mean, to be honest, I don't know if we could feel an improvement in stopping distance, but what we did feel with we also changed the fluid, right?
Yes.
So what we felt was a stiffer pedal, right? Just more confidence in braking, right? No more squishiness.
Yeah.
On the pedal. Yeah. So I mean, this being a super light car, there really was no reason to get like a big brake kit or anything like that. No. So again, OEM replacement.
OEM replacement. We didn't need no cross drill, nothing fancy.
Nothing fancy. Just blanks with upgraded pads, and that's it. Right? Car stops. Awesome.
This car feels like brand new.
Yeah, you know, and one recurring theme that you're probably going to be noticing is we talk about feel a lot, right? So whether it's the feel of the shift knob, the feel of the steering, the feel of the brake pedal, you know, I mean, I think that that's the most important thing to discuss about this car. It's all about the feel. Right?
Oh yeah. I mean, that's what this car had. This has everything they don't have nowadays.
Yeah. I know it's cliche, but when we say that this car feels like a go-kart, I mean, it pretty much feels like a go-kart.
Right. Once it picks up speed, this car is a blast to drive. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. We can go. I could drive this all day right now.
Yeah. Hey Danny, how's it going?
Pretty good.
All right, so Ray just went over everything that we did to the car mechanically, and we're all good there. So kind of wanted to get your take on what we did to both the interior and some parts of the exterior to the car. How does that sound?
Yeah, I'll go over the seats and the center console area.
Cool, let's start with that. So why don't you talk a little bit about the seats? So when we first bought the car, the seats were in pretty good condition, right?
Yeah, I think the seats were in great condition for a 25-year-old car.
Yeah, the only issues was we had some wear on the driver's side bolster, which was it's really normal, right, for a 25-year-old car. So we wanted to restore it, right?
Yeah, actually the center part of the seat were excellent shape.
Yeah.
So we actually kept it.
Mm-hmm.
We went with suede, so similar to like my SI.
And you have a what, a 2007 Civic Si?
Yeah. So that's I really like the seats. So we try to implement those ideas in here.
Yeah.
Overall, the seat came out okay.
Well, I mean, let's talk about the fabric that we chose. Are you pretty happy with the fabric?
Yeah, the fabric feels great. It feels better than my SI.
Yeah. Yeah, super soft, high quality suede. Yeah, no complaints. Definitely, when you're, taking a turn or something, it holds you in.
Yeah,
Right?
it feels great. It's really nice.
Yeah. So I guess the only thing other than that was to talk about the workmanship, right?
Yeah, if this was my personal car, I would be a little disappointed, but for the restoration project, it's not acceptable. Some of the stitching weren't as smooth, or it didn't flow right with the original stitching. You can feel some of the fabric coming off the cushion,
Yeah.
and it's wrinkling really fast.
Yeah, and I feel like the bolsters aren't consistent. Like this side is higher than this side, maybe. I don't know. I don't really have a lot of experience with these sorts of things. I don't,
I didn't have experience too, so we just picked the shop based on Yelp reviews. So maybe that was our downfall.
So 2 questions for you. Out of a 10, how would you rate the workmanship?
4.
4. That's not acceptable.
It's not acceptable.
Okay. And the next question is, we spent how much did we spend on this entire
So
project?
the suede fabric itself was $300.
Mm-hmm. To cover both seats.
To cover both seats.
Yeah, and then the labor.
The labor was about $600.
Okay, so knowing what you know now, would you do it again?
I wouldn't do it again.
Okay. So what's the goal for? I mean, we can't keep these seats in the car, so.
Yeah. So I think either we look for another set of stock SI seats, or
It's going to be really hard to find good condition brand new ones. Right?
yeah, or we find like a skin on eBay, or we can go with some Recaros.
Yeah, I think I'm going to lean towards Recaros, but we can talk about that after this. Okay, cool. So let's talk about the center console. We picked up an OEM radio, right?
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. We got a cool tape deck and everything. And we also found a really, a pretty good condition
Climate control. Yeah.
Right? And these things always break. So tell me a little bit about
So
possibly the worst designed
yeah.
Honda unit ever.
Yeah, I think they factor in that there's fatigue. So every time you turn the knob for the heater control,
Yeah, the knob always breaks.
yeah,
right?
it actually stresses the whole unit. There's a lot of stress points. So what I actually did was I applied epoxy in certain areas of the weak points just to strengthen it. You can't see it, but it's there, and it firms up the the climate control a lot more.
Yeah. Cool.
So the longevity should last us a lot longer.
Cool. All right. So we have this problem right here with the stock steering wheel,
Yeah.
right? And this is a very common problem with this generation
Yeah.
Honda Civics and CRXs.
So
So what do we do?
we went with the Momo.
Yeah, there's the Monte Carlo.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely improves the driving experience.
Yeah. We got the black stitching, black on black,
Mhm.
just like the interior, so everything flows. It matches the car really well.
Cool. Awesome. So we also picked up a OEM muffler.
Oh,
Right.
that's right.
Yeah.
So another thing is we wanted to go with the OEM look. We really wanted the dual exhaust tip.
Yeah, and it took us. Well, we were trying to look for an OEM muffler for what, like 6 months or something like that.
Yeah.
And we were about to give up and just go custom, right?
Correct.
Right.
Yeah. So one day, like during break, I looked on Craigslist for CRX parts, and we seen this OEM muffler pop up.
Yeah.
I drove 2 hours each way just to pick up the exhaust.
So 4 hours of total drive time just to
Yeah.
pick up a 26-year-old.
Yeah, 26-year-old muffler.
That's how much we love this car.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
it's actually not in the car yet. We're gonna polish up the tips and I guess restore some of the metal, right?
yeah,
There's tiny signs of rust. That we have to
little
fix.
bit of rust, but
Yeah.
it's just cosmetic rust. There's no, it doesn't affect this function at all.
Yeah, super excited about it. I mean, I think right now our cheap muffler that we bought on Amazon is already starting to buzz and rattle, right? So
Yeah.
we're super excited to get rid of it and throw on the OEM unit.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So Denny just went over what we did with the interior as well as the cool OEM muffler that we purchased. Ray, what's next?
Paint. It's the best part I've been waiting for all this year.
Yeah, I think all of us, including our viewers, have been waiting for that. So what's been the holdup? I guess start with that.
Well, it's not easy to find a paint shop that
No.
you can trust, a reputable one.
Yeah, I mean we already had
it.
we already had issues with the seats, so you know. I
Yeah.
think, yeah.
So paint, it took me a while, but I think we found the perfect shop that's going to be able to make this restoration for our viewers to love and enjoy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
when we were there, they understand that all the clips, all the plastic trims, all the little itty bitty pieces that are irreplaceable. So if we break them or if they break them, we probably can't find replacements.
Yeah, so we have to be very careful and cautious with the next part of this project, right?
Yes.
But you know what? We're all looking forward to it. We're super excited that this car, you know, after when it comes out of the booth, it's going to have that showroom shine, right?
Yes,
Um,
of course, definitely.
Yeah. Cool. So we're projecting this next part of the process to take about 2 months once we get it to the shop. We'll definitely update you guys with photos and videos and everything in terms of you know how the process goes. Definitely check out www.restorationcrx if you haven't already. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks, guys.
See you guys later.
See ya.